Good afternoon. It's time to call to order the March 21st, 2017 meeting of the Oklahoma City Economic Development Trust. First thing on our agenda is to approve the minutes of the February 21st meeting of the Oklahoma City Development Trust. We have a motion.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? Please cast your votes. And they are approved. Next on our agenda is to ratify the OCEDT claims.
I'll make a motion to approve, but I do have one question.
Yes, sir. We have a motion, but we have a question.
On the top voucher number 909, Oklahoma City Urban Renewal Authority, Convention Center. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Thank you. Convention Center Support Acquisition Project. Could you give us an update on that and the mechanics of how that's working?
Sure. This was part of a $4.5 million allocation that was provided from TIF District Number 2 to the Urban Renewal Authority to acquire property to the east and the south of the Convention Center site. And I think as of today, or as of this week, we're pretty much completed with that. We have a little bit of maybe truing it up between the city and urban renewal because of where the new Broadway will be relocated, split some of the parcels, but we've completed that project and have expended all the money, or will shortly.
Thank you.
Okay, we had a motion. Do we have a second?
Second. We
have a motion and a second. Any further comments on the claims? Seeing none, please cast your votes, and they are approved. Next on our agenda, our item is requiring a separate vote. Are they not?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Item number 4A is the ratification of approving addendum number 1 and the resolution designated Bank of America Merrill Lynch as senior underwriting book running manager and further designating Piper Jaffray Wells Nelson Associations BOSC as co-managers for any future OCEDT bond issues through June of 2019. We went out and asked for proposals a couple of months ago. We received 14 from very large national banks, and a review committee comprised of myself, the assistant finance director, and the debt manager evaluated them, and this was our recommendation, and be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, sir. Questions for Brent?
No questions, but move approval.
We have a motion to approve. Second. Please cast your votes. And it is approved. Next on our agenda, joint resolution between the trust on allocating the general obligation proceeds for a new project. Brent, would you like to introduce this, or Kathy?
Sure. This project is with MedXM. They're a company that desires to locate to Oklahoma City and bring 400 new jobs with an average salary of about $34,000. And I think we have a presentation this afternoon. Mike, did you want to introduce them, or?
This is a momentous occasion, I understand, Mike. What is going to happen in the future with respect to your presence at these meetings?
This will probably be the last time you see me, at least in this meeting. Because as of the end of the month, I retire from the chamber, so we're moving back to Oregon. So while you're in these August meetings, I will probably be thigh deep in a river fishing for trout.
And how many years have you served?
At the chamber, about 12.
Congratulations. Thank you for your service, and we wish you well,
Happy
sir.
to do. It's been great working with you guys. So this company, MedXM, is headquartered in California. They looked at a number of states and are in the process of setting up a facility here. Today we have the company's general counsel, Shahid, who will walk through the presentation for you. They have an interesting business that I was unaware of before we met them.
Thank you, Mike. Well, thank you guys for taking the time today. I'd like to take you guys through the company, what it is that we do, why we chose Oklahoma as our state and the destination for our company. And we hope to partner with you guys throughout this project and make sure that this comes to fruition exactly as we see, and hopefully it'll be a good partnership throughout the process. before we start, Mike's been great throughout this whole process, so I want to thank him once again for taking the time and for making us being the last person. MedExam, I'm going to walk you guys quickly through the company, what it is that we do, and from there, what we've done so far and what our plans are in the future. You can go to the next slide, please. So providing new healthcare options. We're essentially bringing back in-home assessment, in-home visits. We have a network of providers, roughly 5,000 providers nationwide. Those are our nurses, PAs, doctors, and we send these providers to patients' homes. We contract with insurance companies, large Fortune 500 insurance companies and large IPAs across nation. And during the process, we send our doctors and providers to patients' homes and we add value. If you can jump to the next slide. As a strategic partner, we collaborate with many organizations. The majority of them happen to be the largest plans. But we've done quite a few different projects with smaller IPAs across. Next slide, please. So who we are. We have been in this business for 26 years. We've been getting in front of patients for 26 years. And this business itself in risk adjustment industry for about 7 years now. Connections, we partner with some of the biggest regional and national health plans as discussed. 5,000 providers we have, and they're span across the nation in all 50 states right now. And our capacity, currently we have 450 customer service representatives based out of Orange County, California. Our plan is to expand that number here in Oklahoma City. In fact, offer some replacement and relocation packages to some of our folks in Orange County in the hope that we bring some of our knowledge-based employees to this city as well. Our mission and vision, we like to think we empower members through education and outreach. Part of the value proposition that we have for the insurance companies is to educate members about their own health and make sure they take charge of their own health and prevention in future. Preventing illnesses through early detection, regardless of the political agenda, everybody agrees that prevention tends to be reduced costs for all patients, tends to be the way to go. Patients are better off through prevention, and we like to think we're a pioneer in this field and pushing it forward. Creating a positive experience for members. Our average visit with our members, our providers, our nurses, our doctors spend about an hour. They spend about an hour with the member. We do a very good risk analysis during that visit, a comprehensive health assessment during that visit. We have a proprietary software that we've developed along with our medical folks and our IT folks that makes our providers better investigators. So for example, if somebody that we're visiting during the visit, if we realize there's certain issues, then the software will tweak the exam, tweak the questions, and makes our providers better investigators. So they can't skip or they don't forget throughout the process what types of questions they need to investigate about. Identifying risk factors and risk stratification, making sure our folks find out exactly the issues in line. Unlike a PCP visit, where an average is about 5.5 minutes nationwide, we spend about an hour, and our questions are not repetitive. The questions are aimed to make sure these are done in time-efficient manners. Recommend actions for care management. We fill up the void about the next steps, what they need to do, what a patient should do as a follow-up to take control of their own health. And fill quality gaps in care. We also, outside of our risk assessment, we have ancillary lines of services. We do diabetic retinopathy exam. We do bone density exam, and so many other exams like that. Services. So health assessment, that's the bulk of our services. We offer innovative solutions to target hard-to-reach members. We're very good at getting in front of members, and that's an issue that insurance companies, a lot of the health plans struggle with. Some of the patients we see lack the means to get to a doctor. they lack the money to pay the deductibles. Our value proposition to the patients is that this is a free visit. We send our provider to your house for a free visit, and during that visit, we're going to sit down with you for 1 hour. We're going to find out the issues, and we're going to make sure you take care of your own health after that point. That's our value proposition to the patients. Our value proposition to our clients is we risk stratify these patients, and we make sure prevention happens at an earlier stage, saving them a lot of money, saving them a lot of cost, and making sure the quality is higher for what the patients receive. So our solutions have been innovative. We manage based on performance. With our clients, we've been a performance-based company since the start, and it's been successful for them in that sense. They appreciate that. And for the patients, they rate us back, so we make sure that they have a say in the process as well. Our platform, we have an electronic platform that we spend a lot of time, money, and a proprietary platform that we've developed. It's all electronic. We were the pioneers in our field back in the day when people were taking notes and shipping and faxing a lot of notes from the doctor visits. We came up with this platform, and we give these platform on iPad or issued laptop from company, and providers use it to their needs. It's customizable. It changes depending on the folks and condition they have. These are some of the other additional services. We're constantly adding to these services. We're constantly looking for additional sources of revenue and our next steps in the process. We see ourselves right now as part of the evolution in healthcare. Preventative healthcare risk assessment, that's our first touch. But over time, we believe we're going to get more and more in front of these patients. The difficult part is getting in front of these invisible patients in the first place. Once you get in front of them, continuing that conversation, we think that's the natural evolution of it. Diabetic retinopathy, osteoporosis, spiral, colorectal cancer screening, diabetes, artery, PAD tests, post-hospital discharge, and postpartum, these make up the vast majority of our services currently. But we plan to add a few more lines during the coming year. Our process, so we start out our process by our outreach. We send in typically a brochure to the members' homes. Once we get the list of the members from one of the insurance companies, we start with a mail. We do a follow-up with our scheduling. And hence our big call center. We follow up with the member, try to make sure we can set up a schedule for them that's convenient for them. Then we send in our providers. Once that's completed, we code the diagnosis, the issues back in our headquarters, and from that point on, we process and pass it on to their primary care physician if needed for follow-up, or to a specialist if that's needed. The circle of care, we are in the center of the circle of care for members. We start with the member, then over time we try to manage those members in ways that are appropriate for that member. And our portfolio, currently we have we started building these retail clinics in partnership with Walmart. We ran a pilot study with these retail clinics, and they've been very successful. Walmart has asked us to expand the operation. We're looking into the feasibility in terms of how much and to what extent to expand these retail operation. It's about giving choices to members. If some folks are not comfortable in having a provider in their house, they can show up at a retail clinic. A lot of times we even combine these with an incentive. Come to Walmart, get your assessment done, get a gift card, and patients tend to like that a lot. So as far as our expansion plans go and the overall idea, we've looked at a few spaces here. We're almost certain about the space that we're going to go ahead with. The plan is to get our operation up and running shortly, but before the end of the year, we hope to get up to 150 employees by the end of this year. Might be aggressive, but we're hoping that it works out and we can get as many employees. Within a 5-year time span, we're looking at 400 employees. Mostly are going to be call center jobs. We're going to add some supplemental jobs on the side, IT, some sales, possibly some HR, other jobs in that nature. Incentives, they played a big, vital role in our decision when we looked at states. We looked at a few different states, but that was one of the main points about us choosing this location over other areas. So that's us. That's our presentation. If you guys have any questions, I'm happy to address.
Thank you very much. Questions?
How are you compensated?
How are we compensated? We're compensated by our clients, the health insurance companies or the IPAs we work with. We're compensated directly by them. They're the ones that do the billing from that point on. We submit a claim, typically, or an invoice to them. From that point on, they'll, depending on their needs, they go from there.
And how do you overcome coming to people's homes, and especially when you start ramping up to colorectal inspections?
That's a lot of inspection, yeah. Look, we're changing the behavior of people, and last year we made about 6 million phone calls. I think maybe more than that. That's a lot of phone calls. And people were skeptical about what we did before. But I think based on what we've done, based on some of our competitors, based on the nature of the industry, the house calls are becoming the norm again. People are okay with it again. It's not to say it's not always challenging. We're not really selling a product. We're educating members about an offer that's on the table. And, do they always take us up on it? No, but our success rate is the best in the industry because we train our folks to understand the patient population that they're part of and they're reaching out to. Now, when it comes to the members, a lot of the times, one of the analogies we make, when we call our cable guys, we're okay with them walking to our home, setting up the cable TV, and leaving. That's fine. But when a doctor with white coat and a badge shows up, a lot of times we're hesitant. It sounds like something's off. Now, we're working to change that behavior, and I think over time we've seen a big change in that.
Brent, what we're doing today is authorizing you to go out and negotiate an economic development agreement with these folks. Is that correct?
That's correct, sir.
What would be the key points of that agreement when it's brought back to us for approval for our viewers who are watching?
It will be performance-based. They have to create the jobs at the requirements that they've discussed today, and they will be paid based on their performance. So as they create the jobs, they will earn the $500,000 that we're earmarking for the project.
So no creation of jobs, no incentive.
That's correct.
And how about what is the bar that has to be reached on an individual, the average salary for the job in order to qualify?
A little over $35,000.
And is that also has a benefits package associated with it?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions or comments?
I would just offer congratulations on your growth and thank you for choosing Oklahoma City. I see that you've got a good deal of independent contractors that are part of the organization as well. The jobs that you plan for Oklahoma City, is there going to be an independent contractor aspect to that, or is it just pure company employed position?
As of right now, we're looking to hire employee positions. That's what these numbers were based off of. We are probably going to have more independent contractors in Oklahoma. Currently, I don't believe we have any, but we're planning to expand, and depending on our contracts and our needs, we may hire more doctors and nurses in this state as well.
But to the chairman's questions, your understanding is that to qualify for the credits is based upon salaried wage
employees with benefits, absolutely.
Good. All right, thank you.
And those salary-based employees will be in Oklahoma City at a location that can we talk about yet or not? Yeah, no, that was a softball. Thank you for hitting it.
OKC works.
This is a tough group to get ahead of. We have a motion to approve.
Second?
Second. Please cast your votes. Thank you for your time and coming, and
Thank
we
you for
look
having
forward
me.
to having you back. All right. Next up, Myriad Gardens Foundation update. When we were so excited about doing this, you wanted to come up on and be the number 2 hitter instead of number 3.
Yeah, well, we're delighted to be here and share with you some things that we've done the last year, things that we've currently done and will be doing this year, and show you some beautiful shots of our grounds, because that's really what we're all about, is providing a really beautiful, first-rate botanical garden and green space for the city. So I'm pressing the right side, Gina. Is it the right side here? Well, this is one of the events that we do every year. It really kicks off the spring season for us, is our annual gardening school. And we're really proud of this. We bring in top speakers, local speakers, and speakers from around the country. We just had this 2 weeks ago. We had a sellout group of about 290 people. And I think that the quality information and designs and plant lists that are shared every year will hopefully have a real ripple effect in the community, so people can create their own community and home gardens that are successful. We do a lot of different things at the gardens. Some people may not know. In our visitor lobby, we have rotating art shows. This is our current one. It's a beautiful, beautiful exhibit of black and white cloud paintings, and we've paired those with haiku poetry in honor of Poetry Month next month. We do lots of educational programs. This is a seed starting class we recently had, but we do programs for adults and kids all year to teach them all about plants and gardening. Right now we have a dazzling bulb display. If you haven't been to the gardens, I'd urge you to. With this warm weather, bulbs are really at their peak right about now. So we are in the midst of raising funds to meet a $200,000 challenge grant we received. So in a couple of years, if we're successful, we'll have a $400,000 endowment just to purchase spring bulbs with. So we can really make the gardens a truly nationally renowned bulb site, which people absolutely love. If you come to the gardens now, you'll see everybody taking pictures, enjoying the bulbs. It's really very special, very colorful throughout the grounds. This is on St. Patrick's Day. So you can see every year we're planting more and more spring bulbs. It's really beautiful. In our Crystal Bridge, which I know a lot of people may have visited at one point, but you really need to come back and see it again. We try to change exhibits. This is our annual exhibit where we showcase hundreds of orchids, and we've added lots and lots of color this year. The show is Kaleidoscope of Colors. It runs through April 15th, and it's really beautiful. We have a top horticulture staff in there, and they do an amazing job. There's lots to appreciate and discover in our Crystal Bridge, and exquisite orchids, which you really won't see orchids like this except at the Crystal Bridge. We also are doing more and more programs during spring break week and different points in the year, in the summer when kids are out of school. We just wrapped this up last week. We had a big truck exhibit for kids to go out and see all these different trucks and experience them, and it was very popular. We had several hundred families attend this. We have lots of playthings for kids. We're always investing in new things for kids to play creatively. This was made possible by an express sponsorship to have these blocks kids can play with. We try to celebrate a lot of every season in the garden and different holidays. St. Patrick's Day was big this year. especially with the parade not taking place, a lot of people came to the gardens to enjoy the entertainment that we provided. And this family really got into it. Seniors came, senior groups, to enjoy this. We have an egg hunt coming up soon. This has been extremely popular. It's been selling out every year. And I'm happy to say this year we added a egg hunt for special needs children, which I think will accommodate a lot of kids in this. And we have lots of families, but we don't forget dogs. We have our famous now dog hunt every year where dogs get to have some fun. But our main job, as I said, is really to create a beautiful garden, beautiful grounds, and we're always investing and enhancing. A garden is never done. It always needs improvement or changing or fixing. We did spend quite a bit of money that was raised the last year to replant our terraces, which had a grass which really wasn't doing well there, so we replaced all of that. So this year, you'll see a big improvement on the east and west sides of the lake. And we're filling in constantly with more plants, more shrubs, more trees throughout the gardens, adding container plants, focal points. We try to label all of our plants so people can really learn about plants that grow well here. This is one area we'll be putting in a new shade garden starting in late May, and I can't point to it here, but it's the area just to the right of the pedestrian bridge where the trees are there, and that is a shady site, and it had some plants that weren't doing well, some azaleas, so we're going to change that out, and it gave us an opportunity to take this site where the original azaleas just died out, and shade is a precious commodity. So we're designing it's small, but it's going to be a very lovely little shade garden there. So this will be in and hopefully finished by the end of June. It will be another little terrace area people can sit and enjoy. We can use it for some public programs. We could even use it for small rentals to earn revenue. But I think the public will enjoy this beautiful little nook of a shade garden that we'll be building. And we'll be adding a collection of viburnums and hydrangeas in the shade garden. We use a lot of volunteers, and I'm happy to say our volunteer program is growing. We really couldn't do a lot of our things without them. So we get volunteers of all ages, and we really try to have them be a partner with us and help with all of our events. Our playground is very popular. I think that is by far our most popular site in the gardens. So we do a lot to keep that fresh and interesting. Our book programs that we have out in this garden is extremely popular, so we always have books there, storytelling programs. It's been really well received by the community. They know they can go to this porch, and there's usually something wonderful to read or do or just to enjoy that space in the children's garden. We do weekly walk-ups where we have free crafts and horticultural activities for kids. In early summer, we put on a children's gardening festival, and we use a book and bring that to life and teach kids a lot of things related to it. This year, it's The Very Hungry Caterpillar, so that should be a lot of fun. We're doing a Father's 5-Day K. This is another one of our fundraising things. We do lots of these types of things to raise donations, earn revenue. This will be our third year. This is growing in popularity. We do lots of creative things for families. Mud Day, which we just let the kids get muddy and play and have fun. They can wash off in the thunder fountain. Here's our great lawn, and we put in some new turf a couple of years ago, and that's done beautifully. So this is really a great place for the community to enjoy. We do our fundraising event, Splendor in the Gardens, every other year out there, and that's just to say we are increasing our donations every year by doing things like this, increasing our donorship so we can add to our share of the funds for our annual budget. We also do dinners. We do Splendor every other year, but we have dinners like this to raise funds and raise friends for the gardens throughout the summer. Shakespeare in the Park will be returning as usual. They do a fantastic job. Their production is really first rate. Our terrace garden, we use this for lots of different things. Our movie nights will return. They are extremely popular. We have thousands and thousands of people who come to these events. We're doing more and more fitness programs. We do lots of yoga programs. Our full moon bike will be returning. We've added a running component with this once a month starting in May through October. We have done paddleboarding. We'll continue that with our partnership with the Boathouse District to use our lake for something like that. Dancing in the Gardens, this will be our third year. It will be kicking off on May 5th with salsa dancing at our seasonal plaza. And I can't announce the name today. We are about to sign an agreement, though, with a new operator for the Ice House, which I think will be terrific. They have a wonderful menu. We're going to be adding ice cream. So that should open May 1st, and we'll be making that announcement very soon for the Ice House. As a way to earn revenue, rentals is a big area for us, so we constantly are renting the gardens for weddings and cocktail parties and other types of public programs on the Great Lawn, so we're always happy to talk to people about that. As you know, this is no longer a restaurant, but the Park House, we rent that all the time to groups, so if anybody's interested, we're always happy to have them hold an event at the gardens. This is the plaza where the new operator will be having food and beverage starting in May. As I mentioned, we do lots of kids programs throughout the year, especially in the summer. Our prairie garden that we put in a couple of years ago has been really popular. We'll be adding signage to that to educate people about the value of native plants, the value of pollinator gardens, how to save water. We're working with the Water Utility Trust on conservation programs. And Pumpkinville, our fall festival, that is a major fundraiser for us. We also have a lot of memberships that come out of this. We had about 500 families join last year, and that's become, in a relatively short amount of time, a very, very popular event people look forward to. Our ice skating season, we had our best season yet. That just closed up in January. We had a little over 37,000 skaters. So that is growing. We added these little bears that you see on the right for people to learn to skate, and those have been really popular. And as you know, at the holidays, we do lots of programs, decorations, crafts. Our carousel is popular outside. So we try to do all these things for the community. They also earn revenue for us. Growing our social media, which is really important for us to get people to the gardens, so that keeps increasing. And this is what the best that we can estimate through rentals or people who actually register, or our best estimate on crowd sizes for all of the events that we do. And our best estimate is a little over 242,000. And that doesn't count the casual visitor. So you can see how popular the gardens is as a destination. This is a summary of where we are with our budgets since the foundation started back in 2011-12. You can see that we've made steady progress on reducing the amount of funds that have to come from the city to support the gardens. So in fiscal year 12, the Myriad Gardens was 76% of our annual budget came from the city funds, and the foundation contributed about 24%. So that has grown to the budget we just submitted. It shows us earning 57% of the budget, the foundation, and the city's share is now well less than half at 43%. So our goal is to get our share to 66%, and I think we will get there in a couple more years, but we've made good progress on that. And we were able to reduce this year the city's share of our budget by 4%. And this just shows you that graph of how we've been making progress on reducing the city's amount that they need to support the gardens. And we're also looking forward to, I'll end with this, the taking on the management of the new MAPS Park. We're honored, we're thrilled, we're excited about that. And so we've been spending more time on that as that gears up. So thank you very much for your continued support.
Thank you, ma'am. Questions or comments? We don't need to take any action. Next on our agenda, general manager reports.
Just a couple of things on the report. First of all, the financials have been updated through the end of February of 2017. In February, we processed the 2016 payment to Enable Midstream for 91 jobs. Their payment was $100,000. And the outlet mall performance has been a little bit off the last, from August of 2016 to August of 2017. Their sales totaled $72.7 million, which is 2.71% below target, and is also a decrease of about 1.25% over the same months of the prior year, but still performing a little bit better than some of the other city sales tax categories, and an important retail component for the city. That's about it.
Questions to the general manager? Seeing none, any comments from staff? Trustees? Any citizen from the public who would like to make any comments or ask any questions? Again, seeing none, thank you for your attendance, your attentiveness, and your encouragement for all the projects that are going on. We are adjourned.